What's happening, Bimmerites? Beats here with my buddy Jeff. Jeff, tell him what we're doing today.
Today we're doing an oil filter housing gasket and cooler gasket. Right now I'm just basically draining the coolant from the system, because basically coolant's going to be running through your oil filter housing, basically helping kind of cool your oil as well as just cool your oil.
All right, so like we said, today we are doing the oil filter housing gasket and the oil cooler gasket. So I'm going to show you how to get that done. Here we go.
So after you get your coolant out, it's going to look similar if you're just doing an oil change. You're not going to take the full filter out. So just kind of crack open the oil filter a little bit. You're going to want to give it a few minutes just to kind of drain itself out. The more it drains, the less of a mess it makes.
Make sure you've got the proper tool to do the job too. You got to have that wrench. I believe it's called oil filter wrench.
So just kind of leave that for a little bit while you're doing other things. As always with a BMW, you're going to have to pull the cowl off.
Really? I didn't think we would for this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull the manifold back just a little bit, not by much, just kind of like that 1/4 of an inch, and then then I'll be good from there. Okay, so you guys know how this goes. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Well, 2 seconds for you. We're gonna get this cowl and stuff removed. Boom, boom, boom. That's all gone. Okay, so next thing you're gonna want to do, just to kind of get yourself ready, there's one bolt, which is an inverted torque. That's basically underneath the intake manifold. That's basically the hardest part of the oil filter housing, is getting to that one bolt. If you don't have like specialty tools and like specialty inverted torques, like I have a set of swivel inverted torques specifically to get into that spot, because we do this a lot at work. If you don't have one of those, I kind of recommend just removing the intake manifold, but because I have that, I'm not going to do that.
So exciting news, I finally got my sticker. Oh yeah, there she is, looking pretty. Yeah, so that took way too long, but got it done. Awesome sauce, time to move forward.
So, if you know by now, removing intake manifold is 11 millimeter for all these nuts.
You're nuts.
Just get all these bad boys off.
That's why I got your tool belt, Jeff. Of course, the rear 2 screws of the engine cover are not there. Don't put them back.
Reasons.
And we also notched a little bit out to make it easier to get on and off. Nothing you'd ever notice, but it helps.
It helps keep the stock effect. We had to notch it out for the rear catch can piping. It was just a little cramped back there, so it's one of those, we did it, make our lives easier later on kind of things.
So I got this car in April, right at the end of April. Went on vacation, didn't drive it till like the 2nd, 3rd week of May. Anyway, first time since then that I've had no codes or check engines or anything at all. Granted, a lot of the time that was just because of the catless downpipes and stuff. But she's code and check engine light free right now. Isn't that exciting? It really is, actually. And I have a sticker. Awesome, sauceum. Weather sucks, but hey.
Take one win when you get it.
She's riding on 617s. No, they're actually nice. They're stock BMW wheels. There's the rear. 7.5 wide in the rear. 7 in the front, 5 stars. I don't know the series number or model number, whatever. If you want to find that out and post it below, you go ahead and do that, but I don't know what they are. Can't remember all those numbers. Too many numbers for me. That's why I don't like history. Too many numbers. Names and numbers. No thank you. Yeah, so anyway, she's riding on some Blizzaks and 17s for the winter. And then we'll put her on some fresh rubber and rims in the spring.
I should be able to get to that bolt, at least a little bit by now. Yep, that's all I need. So, as you can see, there's that one bolt down there, and it just kind of sucks to get to. Where? It's this one right there.
Ah, there.
So
see that right there? It's like inverted Torx.
So that one's the one that really sucks to get to. That's why you got to kind of half remove the intake manifold. If you don't have like inverted Torx sets, don't strip that. So I would recommend removing the intake manifold, but I don't want to because I know how to do this.
Apologies for the dirty engine bay and everything. It's winter, salty like a mofo right now. And I wash it as much as I can, and I do wipe it down all the time and stuff, but, you know, it's just going to be dirty this time of year. It's pretty good, actually, if you saw the interior and stuff for how salty it is everywhere and stuff. I do keep up on it. Wash the floor mats in the bathtub and everything, so.
Maybe she might fight me hard enough when you remove her. At least that's easy enough. Okay. Yep. I'm not gonna fight her.
She's coming off.
She's coming off.
Intake manifolds coming off. Recently cleaned up the DCIs, sprayed them down with oil. We've really been doing pretty much everything that this car needs done to it. I mean, a couple more gaskets and stuff, and we're there as far as maintenance goes. It's taken a year to really get it there, but we're pretty close. And then it's all just performance stuff and obviously keeping up on the maintenance, but some good things coming in the near future. And she's running really good, so I'm pretty happy. Solid, dude. I know that much.
Just need that tiny little bit of space.
That went up a good half an inch there. Oil pan gasket, that is leaking. That's a big one, and that's coming very soon. Probably next week or the week after, but that needs to get done. So that's another maintenance item we got to knock off. Like I said, gaskets, we're getting all those done, and a couple other things today. So close, very close.
I'll lift up on that just a little bit for me. You're gonna have to give it a little.
I mean, I am giving it a little.
There you go, Bear. There you go. So that's the absolute hardest part of this, is that one bolt. Once you get that, the rest of this becomes pretty easy. Oil cooler gasket, you got 3 inverted Torx. You're gonna have to remove this, the cooler lines too. Not a big deal, we're replacing these little O-rings as well. So this is a little bit of a messy job. 13. So be prepared to get some brake clean lying around, some other stuff, so you know, to clean up all the mess that you will inevitably make.
What's that, a 13 you said down there?
13 down there. You got to remove these cooler lines because there's one inverted Torque right there that you can't get to without removing these. And again, we're replacing these anyway, so. You got some rags, Beats?
Yep.
So, shove a bunch of rags down there. Be prepared. You're gonna have a little oil spill. Nothing crazy, but some oil will come out. So, the oil filter housing gasket and cooler gasket is a really common issue with BMWs. They leak all the time. Just one of those things where, you know, they leak. You know, it's a good thing to replace. You know, doesn't get oil.
Gaskets need to get replaced.
Right, it does get worse and worse and worse, and eventually will get pretty nasty. We have seen some pretty nasty ones in the at work. So, as I said before, a little oil.
Dirty oil. It's about to get changed. We were actually going to change the oil today, but we have to do it to do the oil pan gasket as well, and we weren't going to get into that today because it's Super Bowl Sunday, yo.
Oh, yeah.
Patriots! I know nobody else cares if you're not from New England, but I had to say it. So anyway, we're not getting into that today. So we're putting the oil change off till next week and getting these 2 gaskets done and probably one other thing. So yeah.
Okay, get these out. This is why I keep rags. Mind grabbing me one more? So, next thing you're going to want to do is get the rest of the cooler bolts out. So it's these 2 inverted Torx. I'm going to change my gloves a lot on this one because, like I said, it's a kind of a messy job. But
looks like maybe this has leaked before or something, huh? It's pretty crusty under there.
That's all from the oil filter housing.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like it probably leaked before, right? Or is leaking now?
That's from that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will happen. It'll just kind of leak all down the side or the front of the motor.
We're talking muscle.
Mm-hmm. Old man strength. So after you get these front 3 off, you are going to have some coolant, probably a little bit of coolant come out. Probably nothing too bad, but like I said, that's why you end up draining your coolant system a little bit first before you do this. Makes your life easier later on and less messy. Like I said, this is a little bit of a messy job.
Yeah, probably the messiest one we've done so far, I'd say. Actually, huh?
Yeah. That's why we got 2 cans of brake clean beads. We're gonna use all 2 cans on that.
No, I need some for my pipes.
Oh, true. We'll use a can and a half.
I don't. Yeah. Those are just getting painted. I just want to wipe them down.
Yeah. Boom, boom. Get another rag because it's gonna make more mess.
Nice.
So let that drain a little bit. So the last 2 bolts you're gonna deal with are this one right here, which is easy, and then this one down here. This is another one where we have a little trick for it. In the repair instructions, and what you'll probably think first to do is to remove this coolant line. Do not remove this coolant line. This will break. When I say this will break, this will break. Guarantee you. So don't remove this coolant line. We'll take an 8mm ratchet wrench and you put it on it. The 8mm will fit fine. Make sure you're going the right way first for loosen. So that's loosen. And you're probably only going to get about a half a turn on it. But once it breaks free, don't tell me I'm gonna have to pull the fan for this. Beats, your car fights me now.
Why? Because you just can't break it free?
You can't break it free with this.
If you put some kind of extension on that, you get more leverage. And
I think I got space now.
boom!
There you go, girl. There you go. Yeah, you're gonna get a nice new oil filter house.
I was gonna say something other than young, because I'm not, but I didn't want to say old, so.
Pull this up. Lay it down somewhere safe. Ew. The only easy one out of the 3. just gonna kind of want to make sure you can just either get that by hand or get that back screw out enough.
Yeah, I think you got it.
Not quite.
My bad.
It's a little more loving. She's turning.
It's a long bolt.
Yeah. Long bolt in a kind of place. Oh, come on, girl. There you go. And voila.
All right.
So
now put it back together.
Yep. Well, that's the hardest part, is just kind of getting everything disassembled. As you saw, there's a couple little tricks. Like I said, if it's up to you, if you have the stuff and you want to try it without removing the intake manifold, go for it. Like I said, don't ever remove that coolant pipe. Don't. It will break. Just kind of remove the gasket. Just grab like a pick or something. Throw those bad boys out, because you'll never need them, never reuse them. There is absolutely no point to have them. I know some people say save stuff.
No, an old gasket. I mean, just buy a few more ahead of time if you're going to keep your car for a long time like I am. They're not getting low in supply yet. Those are things that I'll have to think about, considering I really want to keep this long term.
So, get all the little gaskets off. Then, we brake clean the heck out of it.
Use on dirty rims.
We use this on everything. Dirty rims, dirty interior.
What? I know I'm new to the BMW world, but I feel like no.
No. Because it's, like I said, a very mild abrasive.
I haven't brake clean around that. It's not going to dry out that gasket.
Won't dry out the gasket. You can just put it right on right after. And we're going to brake clean a hell of a lot more too. It's just, you know, the initial, get everything around it.
That's it. One gasket's in, start putting it back together.
Yep. And just kind of go in reverse of what you did.
Yep. Smells so good.
Oh, it smells
oh
so
God, I love it. No,
I love brake cleaning. Brake clean is fantastic. Brake clean is a mechanic's best friend.
That and PV blast.
That and PV blast. And acetylene. Acetylene does wonders. Acetylene's for when you stop asking questions.
We had to use that last time. No, we just got by with the torch.
Yeah, we did map gas with yours.
We did get by with the torch.
Yeah, we got away with map gas with yours.
It took a little effort, but we got it. So my catless downpipes are off. They're a little rusty looking, so we're also gonna hit them with some brake clean today, some steel wool, clean them up a little bit, and then hit them with some black high heat exhaust paint so they don't rust out anymore. So probably give you guys a little clip of that. Do that after we get this done.
You get that. Kind of wiggle the intake manifold back into place. Put that back together.
Yeah, so off camera there, you just got those 3 difficult bolts, or the 2 difficult, one easier one, snug back up. So getting the intake manifold back into place so we can tighten that back down. It's going pretty well. Not that it was major, but right as I said that, he totally destroyed a glove.
So just get the intake manifold back together.
I wonder if you had a tool belt, if it would help.
Probably.
One that had like hard form pockets and.
You're right.
I mean, really, I got it for you for work more than here because you're doing this a lot more there. If you love it enough at work, I'll get you one for here.
I'm just kind of staggering them for right now, just while I tighten them up. Tighten up a little more evenly.
Yeah, always best to do anything like that. Tighten things up in some kind of staggered or alternating pattern.
You got the other the cooler gasket.
So the first one underneath is the oil filter housing gasket.
Yes.
This is the oil cooler gasket.
Yes. Gasket.
Now that's not actually the oil cooler that you took off, right? That's just like chambers that send to oil places.
No, that's the oil cooler.
It is? There's another oil cooler somewhere.
Yeah, these, because this is like kind of like a higher model.
Yeah.
They'll run like a additional radiator. That's what it goes.
Yes.
Like a little additional radiator oil cooler.
Yep, that's what it is.
So that's what will run to there, and then. No, because this is what these lines are for.
No, it's on one side or the other, and you can actually put another one.
Yeah, well. So this is what these lines are for. Is they are straight oil cooler gasket. Like they are basically like a little radiator on the bottom.
Yep.
So that it'll cool the oil. Bring it here. It'll cool more because it's basically cool. It runs through and basically conducts the heat.
Okay, I see. That's how it does it there.
Yeah, and then so it will run coolant through it, so it'll keep the oil in this general area around operating temperature. So it'll keep it down like a little bit. So it helps keep it nice and cool. But because this is like a performance model, it has the additional oil cooler on it as well. Like some of them don't have the oil cooler; they just have the oil filter housing. So those ones are really easy because you don't even have to remove the intake manifold. You can just kind of squeeze it in and get that bolt. When you have the oil cooler, sometimes you have to remove the intake manifold. When you have the sports package, as you saw, I fought a little harder. Remove these little gaskets, put the little O-rings on.
So oil cooler line, what are those things?
O-rings?
O-rings, yeah. Oil cooler line O-rings.
So I'm going to attach this first just to make my life a little easier. Oh wait, I can't attach it first. Never mind. Ignore me.
Kidding.
I forgot. There's one line that I can't get to without.
JK.
I forgot about that. That one.
But that's something I can do like while you're working on something else another time, so there's no need to lift it up just for that today. I've made it this long without fixing it and we go another week.
Yeah. I could adjust.
It's only one anyway. The one is not rattling. At least it wasn't. I can't promise it hasn't started to now, but it was just the one that was rattling.
You see all this oil down here?
Yeah, I think so. Behind like the pulleys there, yeah.
Yeah, that's all from oil filter housing.
And then road debris, right, is why it looks so like...
Yeah, why it looks really bad.
It's like oil and dirt and salt and... I mean, we can always pick up another can and hit that stuff again, right?
Sure, yeah. So no, it's not like
the pipes are going on. That we can do again. Okay, guys, so that pretty much wraps it up for this one. Not too long, not too hard. Actually went pretty well. As long as you have a little bit of experience, a little bit of know-how, and a couple of the right tools, you should be able to get it done fairly quickly. I didn't have to do it because I have Jeff. Lucky me. You should have somebody like Jeff. It's awesome.
Get your own personal Jeff.
Yeah, get your own Jeff. I have one. I love him. No homo.
No hetero.
Anyway, just putting the DCIs and all that stuff back on. You guys know how to do that. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you found it helpful. We'll see you on the next episode of Bimmer TV. We're out.